Thank you, Wilfred. This session is about pension and pension product is what we'll be talking about. This is a very, very interesting subject, and also it's something which I guess because of the challenges that working people, professionals, you know, go through perhaps over time. This one tends to be at the back of priorities. When one gets there, in 60-65, research shows that as you speak today, a very small percent of Kenyans who are employed and who are in formal employment will be in a position to meet their obligations fully at that age. It's a very, very small percent. And prior, we had a social system which works in that we lived in villages, and the family was big, and the children will support you in your old age, and perhaps other siblings. You can rely on the family infrastructure and family assets to survive. Things are changing very fast because a lot more people are based in urban areas, but even in the rural areas, the dynamics have changed. You want to be self-sufficient when you are 65, 70. And you want, experts tell us that you want to be able to have at least 60% of what you used to earn when you retire.
The other area is people who are in self-employment. Including professionals. Somehow, people assume that if you are a doctor or a lawyer, that you just continue working, doing what you're doing. Yes, you can do it. But sometimes, for some reason, at a senior age, something may happen and it means you cannot carry on. Maybe health challenge, whatever. You can't carry on. So therefore, the income from your practice will not be there. So those professionals, they also need to have a pension plan. So that over time, that pension plan replaces the income. People who are in informal businesses, and that is the vast majority of Kenyan workers. I think the first question is, what is the government doing to address old age poverty, and are those measures really enough?
Old age poverty in Kenya is really bad. And as they say, misery loves company. So most people in Kenya will be poor in old age. There's no doubt. It's a forecast that is as good as day and night. Take, for instance, the government program for cash transfers for old people. It currently costs the government 17 billion shillings, and we support about 800,000 people. That 17 billion shillings divided by 800,000 people per month is just about 1,900 per month. That money comes from government intermittently. It's never on time. There's a track record about that. Now, this is to help the most vulnerable. That is 800,000 people. How many people qualify for that money? Just about 2.4 million people qualify for that transfer. But the government still cannot meet the expectations of those 2.4 million. So if we continue on that trajectory, obviously, it's going to be misery. What the NSF Act is trying to do is trying to reduce the burden that is being put on the state in managing old people's poverty. It started with people who are employing others getting concerned that I've worked with this person for so long and now he's no longer productive, so I need to let him go. And then I realized I don't know how to deal with that. This was also prevalent in Kenya about 20-25 years ago. If you looked at some caliber of people, they employed a driver, they employed a worker in the farm, and the worker has aged and you don't know how to let him go. So the idea came that I can give this person a golden handshake, and then he can live off that golden handshake. So those golden handshakes were eventually translated into arrangements that people called pension schemes, thanks to the actuarial scientists and the mathematicians. Now, that tradition was then borrowed heavily by the nobility and the military, that if I agreed to serve in your military and die for your country, what would you leave for my family? And that's the way the idea of military pensions arose. Fast forward, in 1948, I think, we established the civil service pension scheme in Kenya. And then the private companies that have come into the country come in with their schemes structures until 1965, as Kevin alluded, when we established NSSF. But in 1997, the government established the Retirement Benefits Authority, which created the first legal framework of managing pension arrangements.
Now, in a study that was shown provided by RBA, they expressed that they have a total number of registered schemes, private schemes, of about 1,600. And of those, they hold the majority of the 1.34 trillion shillings that is being expressed. Those schemes have about 2 million savers. So you can clearly see there is an option. There are private schemes. There are occupational schemes if your employer has established one. There are individual schemes if you are an individual and you wish to do it on your own, at your own frequency. The Zimele schemes come perfectly to mind. So yes, there are a number of options. But again, coming to the coverage, adequacy is a big deal. Of the 20-25% coverage, those are just members who are listed as being members of retirement benefit scheme. How much are they saving, and is it worth enough?
The time to take care of business is now. The time to take care of the future, 10 years, 20 years, when you're 60 and 70 is now. As Zimele Asset Management Limited, we want to play our part in this providing Kenyans with a pension. So I urge everybody to get ready themselves, talk to their families, talk to their associates, talk to those who are service providers to them. Talk to Zimele here about saving and about pension.